This episode of Anxiety Slayer is sponsored by Cozy Earth, the world's leading bedding, bath, and apparel company. Get up to 35% off site-wide when you use the code SLAYER at CozyEarth.com. Welcome back to the Anxiety Slayer podcast. This week, Ananga and I are sharing things to watch out for in springtime when you're living with anxiety. Welcome back, Ananga.
Hey, Shan.
It's good to spend another episode with you to talk about something that's really important that I think we forget about when the seasons change, how much that can affect us. And I'm glad we're going to be talking about this subject today.
Yeah, it's really helpful to be in alignment with the seasons. And if we feel a little bit off balance or we're noticing some changes in our body, in our skin, in our mind, it's good to be aware of what the changes in the season can bring. And I think spring is one of the most changeable seasons. Spring and fall are definitely transitional seasons that bring a lot of change.
When I think about the springtime, I think about what's happening around us in nature. The big, beautiful trees that are outside, the maple trees that are all around my home, and how they go from these wintering trees to all of the energy that it takes when things start moving, when the sap starts running, when the leaves start, the buds come and then the leaves. And those things are happening in our bodies too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I find it helpful to remember that, wow, that's a lot of change. We are definitely coming into a more active time, and our bodies are going to respond accordingly.
Yeah. We often talk about Ayurveda on the podcast, India's Ancient Science of Life, and Ayurveda teaches that as we go into spring, the kapha, the earthy energy, earthy, cold, stable energy in our body starts to move. So sometimes the analogy that you just gave of the maple is used like sap rising and moving, or sometimes an analogy is used of snow thawing and becoming liquid and moving. But there's lots of changes happen in our body in springtime that we need to support.
And that's why it's important this time of year to keep warm, keep a steady routine as much as you can, to use oil massage this time of year to nourish your skin and to help your mind and immune system. That we're still in that space of needing things to be warm. And I know that those beautiful days when the sun comes out and it seems like, oh my goodness, here it is, it's springtime, but we still need to be looking after ourselves more in a winter type fashion for a little bit as things transition.
Yeah, I feel like we need to hang on a little bit in spring and transition slowly. Any change can provoke anxiety if we're prone to anxiety. Change increases the vata energy, which Ayurveda teaches is the mind and body type most prone to anxiety. So just simple things like keeping a steady routine, using oil to counteract dryness. Warmth is the one most important thing. Keep warm. Sometimes the sun's there, but there's still a nip in the wind. Here in the UK, we're having quite cold, windy days, wet, windy days. Then you feel the sun come out and you can feel it's coming. The warmer days are coming, but they're not here yet. So we don't throw caution to the wind.
Yeah, right. And we often talk about oiling up. And one of the recommendations that you have this time of year is castor oil. And I never think of using castor oil except for on particular areas of my body, but I find it interesting that that's the one that you recommend for spring. Why is that?
There's a recommendation from Pukka Herbs, recommend castor oil.
Okay.
And they provide their own excellent quality castor oil. I have a bottle here. It's a really good, thick, cleansing oil. Castor oil helps break down blockages in the body. It's very nourishing, very good for the skin. The recommendation from Pukka Herbs is that you take some castor oil in your hand or in a small warmed dish, get it nice and warm, and then you dip your fingertips in the oil and massage it all over your body from your scalp down to your toes, and let it soak in for a few minutes in a warm bathroom, and then bathe. Either a warm bath or shower, and the warmth of the water drives the oil deeper into the tissues of the body so it can nourish us and protect us on a deeper level.
I'll have to give that a try. I love oiling up. My skin is so happy for it. And these are self-care routines that are just so loving. If you haven't tried, go for it.
They're very simple practices. And I think the more simple the practice is, in a way, the more nourishing it feels, the more self supporting it feels. So it's a beautiful thing to do. Really good for our nerves, really good for our immune system, helps protect us from aches and pains and from the bugs that can be around at this time of year. It's easy to pick up a spring cold. Warm oil massage is a good protection from that.
Hmm. So again, spring by nature is a season of change, and it's important that we just remain as steady as we can, that we keep to the same meal times and sleep times, that we make sure that we have some time for morning stretching or yoga, perhaps some sort of calming practice in the evening, something that you can look forward to that is more routine based. Just keep looking after yourself.
Yeah, little anchors for us. If nature around us is changeable, then we can put little holding points throughout our day with steady meal times, sleep times, and care practices. They're our little grab handles
Right.
throughout the day. If everything feels a bit spun out, we've got those little care times to look forward to.
And this is also the time of year when we feel or experience increased pressure to be more social and to get outside more and start taking care of things that are dormant over the winter. Before the episode, you and I were talking about some social events that we both have coming up and kind of laughing about how uncomfortable that feels right now because we've been in our cave time
Yeah.
and haven't been doing a whole lot of socializing. And I think after so many years of COVID and that we've all experienced in one way, shape, or another, that pressure to mix socially can feel like a lot. That sense of more expectation of engagement can feel overwhelming. And all of these choices that we make are going to make it a little bit easier for us to navigate through those expectations.
Yeah, as much as I love the warmth to walk in spring and summer and the changes in nature, last year I was really enjoying walking in May and just looking at the green, the new green leaves, so many shades of green. And I spent a lot of time walking, doing mindful walks, looking at different foliage, and thoroughly enjoyed that and felt the benefits for my mind. Still, I always feel a sense of increased expectation to be outside and to be more active in the spring and summer that I have to adjust to every year. I feel that the winter is more permissive of cave time, of, a hibernated kind of mood as much as we can. Certainly when we're at home on winter weekends, I always feel very happy to be snuggled up with a blanket and a book. And I feel that that's a seasonal gift.
Hmm.
But I always feel a sense of kind of an energetic sense of expectation to be more up and outside, which I'm often happy to do, but I have to adjust to it. And I think that can be challenging for those that live with anxiety, just that expectation of more social engagement. There might be more gatherings, more things going on that we need to support ourselves through, and we might find that a little bit challenging. In which case, the bark flower remedy elm is good, really supportive if we feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. Elm is definitely one of my go tos.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is a time where if you have the Vata constitution, you need to be even more aware of the changes, I think, than maybe Pitta and Kapha, because if we're not careful, all of this new activity and action can burn us out.
Yeah, Vata likes change. It's in the body type. The Sanskrit word for it is a word I love, chanchala,
Yeah.
moving and changing. And Vata is like that by nature. So because the season is changing, that brings the Vata up as well. But also Vata can get very excited and enthusiastic about change, which is part of its nature, but it's really important to not let it go into excess.
Hmm.
To be curious, to enjoy the changing season, but not overdo it, not get burnt out, and certainly not lose our routine as much as possible. Otherwise, then Vata goes out of balance and we start to feel more stressed and more anxious.
Yeah, because this is the time when, if Vata is your type, that the shiny lures are everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's just good to bring that forward, that yes, this is a good time for you, but also one where you want to be mindful and disciplined.
Yeah, just keep looking after yourself, keep warm, keep a steady healing routine as much as you can, and just bear it in mind. We don't need to do it all at once, just ease in.
And speaking of Vata, let's dig into how to keep Vata balanced in the spring. We know that Vata's cold and airy and dry nature is nurtured by warmth and grounding and oil massage, the things that we've already discussed. But what else helps for Vata?
And the reason we're talking about Vata, of course, is because it's the type that's most prone to anxiety. So what we're sharing here are the spring tips that will help keep anxiety in check or calm anxiety if it's escalating. So as we've already said, eating regular meals, don't skip meals. Vata types are very likely to skip meals or grab a bag of potato chips, something light and airy and crunchy, and it doesn't serve the body type well at all. So as much as possible, eat regular meals. Sit down and eat gratefully, eat mindfully, eat in a relaxed way, not flicking through the phone. Favor foods that are warm, soups, oily foods with warming spices. For some body types like the Kapha, the more earthy body type, at this time of year, they eat more lightly, more dry, more light, more spicy, like a spicy dry rice dish would be really suited to them. But Vata needs warmth, and when we're anxious, we need warm, more liquid meals that are really easy to digest, because the Vata type can easily get a nervous stomach or find that their digestive system is a bit low on energy or a bit challenged. So warm soups, dal and rice, steamed vegetables, increase natural oils in the diet, and use warming spices.
And whenever possible, avoid refined and processed foods. Avoid stimulants. These are all things that you know, if you've listened to us for any length of time and done your own research. We want to keep things as whole foods as much as possible, and then just really pay attention to keeping things warm for a bit longer.
For anxiety sufferers, this is a great time to reconsider self-care, practice guided breathing practices, gentle yoga, and relaxation techniques. In general, spring is the time that encourages reflection on our personal growth and aspirations. And it's the time to start the things we feel like we should start in the new year. When we flip the calendar over or the bell chimes midnight on the 31st of January, we get all those ideas of all the things we should and could do, but we don't have the energy or the motivation for it in midwinter. Spring's the time, as we observe nature getting busy and showing all its beautiful colors, and we see the birds building their nests and doing their things that they need to do. This is a really good time for us to reflect, recommit to self-care, and think about what we need for the year ahead to support ourselves. We've got more energy and more light to do it now in the spring.
After a short break, we'll be sharing tips for spring cleansing that will support your nervous system and can help calm anxiety. This episode of Anxiety Slayer is sponsored by Cozy Earth, the world's leading bedding, bath, and apparel company. Named one of Oprah's favorite things for the last 5 years, Cozy Earth's best-selling bamboo sheet set is temperature regulating and incredibly soft. And as I mentioned last week, I'm here for it. These sheets are amazing. They're my favorite sheets that I've ever had. And I've already got them in the washing machine and back on the bed, and it's going to be hard to switch them out with my other sheets. They're so soft, Ananga. Cozy Earth's bedding collection offers a variety of luxury pillows, sheets, blankets, and more. Luxury bedding essentials backed by a lengthy warranty. Get ahead of your spring cleaning with fresh new bed linens from Cozy Earth, made from luxurious, high-quality fabrics you won't find anywhere else on the market. Cozy Earth provided an exclusive offer for our listeners today. You can get up to 35% off site-wide when you use the code SLAYER at CozyEarth.com. Anxiety Slayer is also in partnership with Pure Spectrum CBD, and we've been testing their products for a few months before bringing them to you. And I must say that I think the CBD oil, the drops that I take at night, have been really helpful for sleeping. And I've also found that their bath salts with CBD are really lovely. I love my evening baths, and to have a little bit of this salt with the CBD is really nice. How about you, Ananga?
Yeah, I've been trying the pain relief salve, the relaxing lavender salve, which smells really beautiful. And it's been helping me very much with muscle pains that I get in my legs and shoulders. Really grateful to try that. I'm using it every day, twice a day, and very happy with it. And I've also tried the bath salts. They were lovely, very relaxing.
Yeah, that's so nice. Pure Spectrum is committed to cultivating and crafting the highest quality hemp-derived products. This commitment means no shortcuts when it comes to their farming, processing, formulating, and testing. The Pure Spectrum family farms implement sustainable growing practices, superior genetics, and ethical processing to produce a product that we can stand behind. Anxiety Slayer listeners can get Pure Spectrum CBD products for 15% off with the coupon code SLAYER at purespectrumcbd.com. Today, we're going to wrap up our conversation on spring self-care and anxiety support by talking a little bit about why spring is a season for cleansing and some of the good spices that you can incorporate in your nutrition for a really healthy spring cleanse.
Yeah, it's a great time to take care of our lungs, take care of our blood, get the body moving, and use all these wonderful gifts of nature, these wonderful spices, but not to go too hardcore, because Vata will, really try and fast for long periods sometimes, or do things quite extreme, can be their nature. So this is gentle additions, not too much big change. Even good change, Ayurveda teaches, can increase anxiety. So ginger is in Ayurveda known as a universal medicine. I think in Chinese medicine too, because of its wide range of uses. Such a beautiful herb. Ginger is especially helpful for clearing the lungs, boosting digestion and circulation. It has a warming nature that's helpful to anyone of a Vata constitution, and it can also help ease anxiety. We can use ginger so easily, as many of our listeners already are, in cooking, herbal teas. You can add some grated ginger or some slices of ginger root to your favorite herbal blend. Currently, I'm taking hot lime water every morning, squeezing some fresh lime and some grated ginger into a big mug of hot water when I get up first thing in the morning. I'm very much enjoying that as a seasonal support. Also, you can use ginger in a bath to calm anxiety and keep the body warm. You can mix a tablespoon of ground powdered ginger with 1 or 2 cups of magnesium salts, Epsom salts, under hot running water. And that's a really good bath for anxiety. It's also soothing to the muscles. And if you have a cold, it can help ease a cold.
So nice. Turmeric is also very good this time of year and is used for cleansing the liver, clearing congestion from the body, and clearing stagnant blood. Most of what we've learned on Ayurveda and nutrition is from Dr. David Frawley. And he once said that if he could only take one herb on a desert island, he would choose turmeric.
Yeah, magical herb. Mint is another beautiful herb that's very helpful in the spring. And I really enjoy mint because you see it start to show its head early in the spring. You see the leaves start to come up through the earth. And I always feel like that's such a gift when I see mint starting to appear. Beautiful, fragrant, uplifting herb. It's calming to all 3 Ayurvedic body types. Though Vata shouldn't overdo it. It pairs really nicely with ginger. It's good for clearing congestion from the lungs, soothing coughs, and opening the pores of the body to clear colds and spring fevers. Mint's believed in Ayurveda to lift heaviness from the mind and to calm the nerves by balancing the flow of pran, of our vital energy throughout the body. It also soothes nausea and a nervous stomach and helps increase our appetite. So that can be a really nice gentle tea for the morning if you feel a bit sluggish or low or don't feel ready to eat breakfast. A cup of mint tea with a couple of slices of fresh ginger can really help.
Cinnamon is also a potent healer for spring coughs and colds, and it clears congestion and keeps the chest clear and open. And cinnamon is also helpful for improving circulation. It's also good for blood sugar and lowering blood sugar. Cinnamon will clear toxins. It will calm vata. It gives the body strength. Vata types can benefit greatly from taking cinnamon and cloves with baked apples or adding cinnamon bark to their teas. I use cinnamon quite a bit, and I even put cinnamon in my coffee when I have coffee. There's just something about it, or even putting it in a hot pot on the stove and smelling that with cloves and
Yeah, it's beautiful, uplifting.
mhm.
And it's great to get really involved with them and to put them on the stove and let them release their healing properties slowly and to smell them and appreciate them. When I make my lime hot water in the morning, I always stand in the kitchen and sniff the lime before the peel goes in the bin. And I can feel it lifting my spirits. Such a wonderful smell. And it's nice to take a moment to be grateful and be in tune with these wonderful gifts of nature. Cardamom's another herb, another spice that's really good for coughs, and it calms hiccups and nausea. It clears congestion from the body. In traditional Ayurvedic cooking, cardamom is often used in milk sweets. Any sweet rice or milk sweet, they use cardamom to make the milk easily digestible, but also to reduce the likelihood of it causing congestion. It can help calm cramps, and it helps clear the accumulated heaviness from the stomach that can build over the winter months.
There's also a number of hot drinks that you can enjoy for cleansing. And we like dandelion tea or burdock root tea. Both are so nourishing and good for your body this time of year. Really great for your liver and just a overall good choice for detoxification.
I have a cup of dandelion tea on my desk with many of the spices we just mentioned. Really nice drink, slightly bitter drink, so very good for the liver. Hot water with freshly squeezed lemon and some ginger. If you have any congestion first thing in the morning, it's also really helpful.
And we always recommend chamomile tea for your nerves. Definitely a good drink to have before bed. As is golden milk, which we've mentioned probably 5 million times for the reason that it works like a charm and tastes pretty good too.
Yes, every night I'm drinking golden milk this spring. You can buy some ready-made blends in most health stores. In the UK, we have a really nice blend. It's called Chico. It's in a blue tin. It's very finely ground, so it mixes easily. It's a particularly pleasant blend, but you can also make your own. Golden milk, of course, has turmeric as its main ingredient, which gives the name and the color. And then you can simmer almond milk and add the turmeric to the almond milk. Almond milk helps the turmeric be more soluble in the body because of the fat from the almond nuts. Then add some cardamom, pinch of black pepper. You can add a pinch of nutmeg to help sleep, or a pinch of saffron, which is known to help calm the heart, or all of them, or experiment with what you want to add. The blend I'm drinking at the moment is a touch spicy. It's quite warm, and I'm really enjoying that in the evenings.
Yeah, it tastes delightful. I've never bought a mix from the store. I've always made my own, but it's nice to know that you can look for that. And here in the States, that's something that you might find at Whole Foods or perhaps at Trader Joe's.
I received some as a gift, so I was happy to try it out. I've received 2 different blends as gifts, and the first one was very nice, but the second one is definitely superior.
Mm,
One that I would go and buy again just for the convenience and the quality of it.
nice. Well, it's been a pleasure sharing time with you all today, talking about spring self care and anxiety support. We are grateful that you listen in. If you love our podcast, consider becoming a patron, and you can get over 100 guided relaxations, tapping sessions, and teachings for calming anxiety. You can do so at our Patreon at patreon.com/anxietyslayer. Thanks again.